Manjot. I'm here with Tom and Paul of the Retrospectives. Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good, thank you, mate.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves, who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, each of you.
I'm Will. I play bass, and
Hey, I'm Tom. I sing and play guitar.
Awesome. And where did you guys get started with music? Like your inspirations for being musicians and that stuff.
uh, we kind of started when we were really young. So we started when we were about 10 years old at primary school, which is elementary school, obviously. Um, and we just sort of been playing ever since. Me and Tom started a band together. Then because we sort of got guitars for birthdays and Christmases, and then we went along for a band for about 8 years, and then we just changed our drummer recently. So as our current lineup, we've been sort of the retrospectives as about 1 year, but in total we've been going a long time.
So you guys grew up together,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just round the corner from each other.
and then your band, you claim that you're on a mission to bring back real pop music. Can you explain more about that and what your feeling is about that and why you're on that mission there?
just not being too scared to use the word pop. Everyone thinks it's a really dirty word at the minute, but the old, like, real pop music from back in the kind of 60s and 70s, which is a lot of the stuff that we listen to and a lot of the stuff that we're trying to make. We're just kind of trying to bring that back, really, not being scared to say we write pop music, but it's real pop music, well, as we would call it, as real pop music anyway.
When people talk about pop music, I mean, I think what it breaks down to is the sort of song structures that are used in pop music, and that's sort of what we're trying to bring, but sort of put it in a band format. We're not trying to do anything new. We're just trying to take sort of everything from the past sort of 4 or 5 decades and sort of put it into one sort of thing.
Awesome. And recently, you guys released an EP called "Turn Me Up." What was the inspiration behind that?
We just that was sort of the first thing we put out where we'd written it with our new drummer, and we wanted to keep everything really simple and keep a lot of space in the music. And I think it was sort of our mission statement as a band. Like, so everything that's in there is kind of sort of where we're meaning to go on. So all the sort of ideas that we put into that EP, and that's all kind of the stuff that we wanted to build on throughout sort of the next few years, and sort of maybe looking to turn it into an album. It's sort of like the very first thing as sort of this incarnation of the band that we're putting out with this EP.
You recently toured with My First Tooth and Last Carnival. What was it like being, on tour with them? I've heard that your shows are filled with energy and really pumped up. So, what's it like for you guys to perform live?
Probably one of the best things, really. The tours were absolutely fantastic. We're touring with Last Carnival, it was great. We played a lot of really good venues, we played a lot of really good crowds as well. And it's always good to kind of go to the crowd that you've never played to before, play a really good show full of energy and stuff, and hopefully win them over. And when you can kind of see that and get to meet a lot of people and you've enjoyed it, it's one of the best things, really.
So where do you guys see your music going from here?
That's a tough question, and it's something that we're not actually decided on yet. I mean, like, the thing we haven't done a lot so far is sort of like write songs at a lower tempo, because we've always been trying to like really sort of make an impact with our music. So we've always been writing stuff quite loud, fast, energetic. So I think the next stage for us is sort of moving so we can write a variation of different songs, so that when someone listens to a Retrospectives album, they get like a full experience rather than sort of 10 3-minute fast indie rock songs. We want to make it so we can really build to the point where we can add a lot of dynamics and different tempos into our music, which is something that we aren't really doing at the moment. But hopefully in the future we're looking to do an album, but at the moment that's sort of like quite far away, because the first thing you put out, especially when it's an album, you want it to be sort of your definitive piece of work, and I don't think we're quite there yet.
I'm definitely interested in hearing that, so I can't wait to hear it. Actually, like before I mention this, your EP is actually quite amazing. I love the sound to it, and even though it's just these, like you said, the short ones, it's an amazing sound that's quite, it's quite unique actually. So I love that. Um, so before we wrap up here, what's one interesting thing that you guys can tell us about yourselves?
That's really hard.
Yeah, that is really difficult. I'll go on a short-term basis because obviously it's hard to sort of put something. Well, next on Thursday this week, we're supporting a band called the Boomtown Rats, and that they're quite a big band in England. The lead singer is Bob Geldof, who obviously did all the Live Aid and Live Aid stuff. So we're really looking forward to that gig. That's going to be a really good gig. That's not necessarily the most interesting thing about us, but that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
So before we wrap up here again, is anything you guys want to say as we close out here?
No, we're all good.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Your new album is up on iTunes, I believe, correct?
It will be shortly. At the moment, it's just up on our own store, which is TheRetroSpectives.bandcamp.com.
Awesome. So you definitely go check that out. This has been Man.Chao with Way Too Indie. Thank you both for joining us. We will see you next time.